Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back. We have an all-new episode of Point of View for you. Willie is back at the table with us for today's discussion. Like the slow clap. Coming up, Congress has officially passed Trump's one big, beautiful bill. But what does that really mean for everyday folks like you and us? And the aftermath of the Diddy verdict is still unfolding. Later, we're diving into Girlfriend's Guide and tapping into some healing with mind, body, and soul. So pull up a seat and join the discussion. You're watching POV. All right. It's official. Congress has passed what Trump is calling his one big, beautiful bill. And it's now headed to his desk to be signed into law. But here's the real question. What does it actually mean for us, the everyday folks just trying to pay bills, raise families, and stay afloat in this economy? Is this bill really as beautiful as it sounds? Or is the devil in the details that we need to be paying attention to? Wow, this is hard because we've heard so much about this bill, and we've heard how much it's going to cut people out of health care, particularly the elderly, people with disabilities, and low-income families, while, we're building walls and stuff, and millions and billions of dollars is being taken out of it. So how do you feel about that? Well,
I'd love to know.
Let's hit it.
What do you think is good about it, Willie? Can you tell us that?
There's a lot good about the bill, actually. So let's first start with this. The bill was taken to the Senate. It went back to Congress last night, about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Went back to the Senate to take some things out and come back. So by the time they got this particular portion of the bill that was just passed to go through, it's going to allow, if you guys have not seen, more tax credits for people with children, and we're not talking about that. It's going to give no tips on
taxes on tips.
So
people will be able to take more money home.
Now, this is the part
but you'll have to pay for your health care because you're not going to have none. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That part is the part that was changed. This is why it's important to see your little devil in your details.
Okay, let's see it.
To be able to go and read it. I do know that if you are a constituent of someone's representative, you should have went to your representative and asked them to give you the details of the bill.
Well, you're here now, so please give us the details.
And I'm telling you,
go to your representative. Do we just call them on the phone? Hello.
But I'm telling you that it's not as bad as it seems. I think that what we do is we run to the media. I personally, the only thing I don't like about the bill, it adds to the deficit. And I think that is a big no-no for me. We don't need
$14 trillion? Right.
I don't like that. I don't think we need to be passing anything that adds trillions of dollars to the deficit we already have. But there are some conservative things that are really good for the overall American, other than us having to pay this back down the road.
Let me ask you, do you think that this was necessary?
Yeah, if you want to keep the government open, yeah. You do know that if they don't have certain bills that are passed that allows for certain budgets, and if we shut down the government, it also stops a lot of functionality that goes on. So
this in particular bill is going to save our government?
No, it keeps it open so you don't shut down. You remember when they had the government shut down before for, 20-some days? And that means that government employees don't get paid, blah, 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 blah. This actually keeps the government functioning. We have to have a budget and we have to have money to use. And according to the Constitution, it is Congress that's able to pass that.
$14 trillion?
I mean, we're a big nation.
And we're already in debt.
Well, send a leak.
Well, millions a week is being spent on golfing at Mar-a-Lago.
That is not him, though. What do you keep talking about?
Are you sure?
Listen,
you've been taking Air Force One back and forth.
But, I mean,
what are you talking about?
Y'all was complaining when he was taking his own plane back and forth over there.
Oh, my goodness. You know what, you all? Please don't listen to Willie.
No, listen.
Please make sure that
I read the comments. Everyone says, thank you, Willie, for speaking up.
That's crazy.
I read the comments.
That's crazy.
The comments ain't
I've
saying...
never seen a comment.
The comments ain't saying the opposite.
Of course, Willie, there's somebody for everybody.
That's right.
At the end of the day, first and foremost, let's say that. But I guess what confuses me, and I'm constantly saying, even though I'm trying to grow in my efforts and my understanding of it, I'm not the most politically inclined. But on a basic level, I guess what confuses me is that when we're constantly making cuts and taking things away from everyday citizens, and it is not fixing the issues that we have, whether it is making up the tax deficit or if it's fixing a government that does not serve us properly, how are we benefiting from this? And then who's going to be to blame when Trump is done with this presidency and then he's put us more in debt and he's taken away all these things right now that we could have used? Like, I wish we could fast
well,
forward.
one black president, of course.
Just to see.
I mean,
it. And
from
then
all
come back.
the presidents
Just to
before
hear Willie.
and in
Just to
the
hear Willie.
future.
And I'm going to come back and tell you the same thing. What did I tell you earlier this week? The responsibility needs to start being handed back to the state. And I think we forget that there's 3 levels of government. You have judicial, you have legislative, and you have executive. President Trump and the Congress is within our, Trump is in our executive, and then you have Congress within our legislative, but then we have our state government. And people are wanting big government to do what big government said they're going to do for years, which does not serve you. Anyone who is an actual true conservative will tell you, you do not want the government to get involved with your everyday life. You need to let the state, your governor, your state representatives, your commissioners and councilmen, they need to be the ones to make sure that the needs that you have are met. Stop asking Trump and Congress to do it for you.
We should write a letter.
That's not their job. No, I'm serious. Your representatives are easier to contact than you think that they are. I just think that we think because they're sitting in a desk in Washington or in Tallahassee.
Oh, I know that they're easy because we see the people when they come off that plane. Oh, Representative such and such, where are you?
Plenty of people have contacted their
Maybe that's what we
representatives.
should do.
Plenty of people have protested. Plenty of people have written letters, and they don't care. I mean, you have Mitch McConnell who actually said they'll get over it. So, I mean, and this is from the state of Kentucky.
Mitch
So,
McConnell
at
is
this
a
point-
failed Republican,
Oh,
weak-kneed,
what?
jellyback coward.
Oh, this
We
is what you're
we
saying?
Don't care.
Are you
going to say
that about
We
Lindsey
don't
Graham,
care
too?
nothing. Lindsey Graham is also trash. So we don't care about those 2 Republicans. They're
But yet,
whitewashed
they
and trash.
have a significant point
you
in
listed
the government.
You listed the worst 2 Republican representatives we have had in
Well,
American
I'm
history.
listing them because that's what the rest of them are following. So,
Following
call the
what?
rest of them?
Garbage?
Yeah.
Them 2 are disaster.
what do you call the rest of them that follow those 2?
Conservatives.
Oh, is that what you call them? Yeah. Okay. Y'all pick your own words for them. But when you feel it, then you'll know what you want to call them. Okay, now let's move on to 2 major figures. Diddy and the former CEO of Abercrombie are facing serious charges, but getting very different treatments. I wonder why. Diddy's behind bars right now, waiting on sentencing after being found guilty of transporting women for prostitution. But his request for bail has been denied. Meanwhile, Michael Jeffries, accused of sex trafficking and exploitation of young boys for decades, I believe that's, fact check it, tied, I'm gonna say, to years and years of alleged abuse and SA, isn't in jail at all. A judge ruled he's mentally unfit to stand trial. Whoa. So his case is on pause while he's monitored at home on $10 million bond. So we're asking, is justice really the same for everyone? And when mental health is involved, does it become a legal shield or a way to dodge accountability?
I don't even know if it is when mental health is involved or if the question should be when they pull the mental health card.
Right. There you go.
You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, any of us struggling through this economy on the highest to the lowest level, we all have mental health issues, technically.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
crazy to live here.
Exactly. But, you know, maybe Diddy should have tried to take advantage of that because clearly we see that he is mentally unfit. The fact that you sitting in corners watching people pee and do all this other stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But
You got mental issues.
y'all take over.
Take over, y'all. What do you think about this?
What do you want to hear from me? My personal thing with this is I do know that there's discrepancies within the judicial system. And this is my actually first time hearing about Abercrombie and the CEO with this. But I would say that I do remember that Diddy did mention something about his mental state. At the end of the day, though, I'm pretty sure that there can be appeals where he can go back. His bond was more than $1 million, but I feel like personally it was more about the fact that it was so like fresh and that the threatening abilities that he had to multiple people. And I think that they're really trying to safeguard.
But this
those
is fresh as
individuals.
well.
Exactly. He's on a
Yeah.
$10 million bond. This is the owner of
okay.
CEO of Abercrombie.
Somebody.
And I recall when Diddy mentioned mental health, it wasn't in the interim of his, court proceedings. It was when he
came
was
later.
trying to get Cassie's husband thrown out of the court. That was just a little ploy. That wasn't nothing too serious. But we should have been new. Okay? Something was going on with the CEO of Abercrombie. And I remember I worked there for one day as a
worked for
team.
Abercrombie, too.
For one day. Okay, first of all, but I remember, like, first of all, they were only soliciting kids that kind of had, like, a certain look to
Yes,
work there.
that's right. Yes.
And then every day you go in the store, it's a bunch of naked young boys, and we just weren't paying attention. I mean, he's letting you know what it is. But luckily, God only had me there for one day. Okay?
I never saw no naked little boys.
What do you mean? You didn't
without
every day
shirts.
when you go on without shirts on and low-rise pants when you can see the cut of their crotch. That's naked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I get that.
And this has been going
I thought we meant like literally naked.
No.
What I read is that it was actual trafficking. He was actually trafficking.
That sounds about right.
He was
these
probably saying, you
young
can be the
males.
face of Abercrombie
Right.
2020 if you...
So how do you feel about the fact that, here is this man from Abercrombie, right? And he's being able to use mental, his mental health
Because
his
he's
state.
white.
But
Right.
then when it comes to our community, it's like we're not given that opportunity to say, or we're not even looked at that they could have a mental health problem. They're just bad. They're just terrible. They're just
Right.
no good. When yet, here you have this for decades has been going on, trafficking boys, and now he has a mental health problem. What do you think
I feel
about
like
that?
we try really hard not to make it about race, but this, I mean,
It's
very
just so
clearly,
obvious.
Yeah, it's very clear that one is able to get away with it and the other is not, and you can't help but to think it's because you're white.
Yeah.
Because why else are you? If Diddy claimed insanity right now, would he be able to be monitored at home?
Oh, no.
I'll return next week when we dig deeper into the facts.
Oh, you're going to return next week when we
Are
get
you gonna bring the
deeper
black
into
you or the
facts,
white
Willie
you?
says. Ooh, right. Oh, say that one more time.
You gonna bring the black you or the white you?
Okay. Well, we're going to take a quick
Black
commercial break on that. but don't go anywhere. We will return with Girlfriend's Guide coming up right after this commercial break. You're watching POV.
What's up, social media family? Thank you so much for tuning in with us for today's episode. It is Thursday, and I got a question. So, name something that men don't realize is a turnoff.
Okay, I have one, and this may need to be censored, but it's from back in the day.
Okay.
But I don't know if men still do it now because I'm not currently on the market. But them DPs,
Excuse me?
What is that?
them pics of the D.
Oh,
Okay.
Major
okay.
turnoff.
Okay.
I didn't know what you were talking
I
about.
don't even know what that is.
All right.
Bless
We'll have to share that later when we get off air because it's a family show.
Oh, okay.
Do you have
Well,
one?
you'll have to tell me. Yes, drama.
Oh, yeah.
They love to say we don't like drama, but I think what it really means they don't
Focus
want
on
you
your-
bring
your
hush
side
your
of
mouth.
it. Focus on
I
your
think
side.
what they mean is they don't want you to bring drama, but it's okay if they bring you drama.
Ooh.
I think that's what it means, because they don't like
Okay.
it, but they seem to have a lot of it.
I feel like I have a few, but I guess we don't have time for it.
Oh,
So we're
thanks
gonna get
a lot.
back to the show.
Already? We could have heard Willie. You ain't got nothing about the man?
I didn't sound the hush.
They were telling us to rap. Didn't it?
Wow, time's moving fast. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna keep up with the time because it's moving really fast, y'all. Welcome back. This is the part of the show where we dive into all things love, life, relationships, and everything in between. Let's get into Girlfriend's Guide. You see how fast I'm talking? So we can say goodbye to the days when being single at 40 meant something was wrong. What? More and more women, especially those with advanced degrees, are choosing themselves over settling. A Harvard report shows they're happier, more in control of their time, and living life on their own terms. She's not waiting around. She's building a life she actually wants. So is society finally catching up? Or is the world still trying to convince women that settling down equals success?
I think that regardless of whatever Harvard has found here, I still believe that women also value settling down and they need to stop pretending.
Yeah.
I said this, that last week it was women wanted a man, and now y'all read y'all just be confused. Y'all all these studies, y'all just behind backwards, and what y'all need to do is go somewhere and let some man find you, and stop being out there acting like y'all want to be lonely on the island by yourself, complaining all the time.
Now,
y'all need to pick up your lips.
Okay.
And adorn yourself and wait for a man to come and get you. Stop.
I don't know about
there.
that, Willie.
See, this
but-
is what we don't like.
The problem is there aren't enough men actually in the world.
Men,
there
actual
are
men.
boys.
Yeah,
There are a
physical.
lot of boys in grown men bodies just
you.
trapped.
Yeah.
That's why women are more focused on themselves and wanting to build the life that they actually want to live. I'm not saying that women don't want to settle down, but
Right.
nobody want to be with a little boy. Nobody want to raise you up. Nobody wants
want
to
to
do
be
that.
with a little girl. It'd be the same concept.
That's
I
my
don't
thing
think so.
right there, and I feel like I can't make it sound so eloquent. But honestly, but what it is, and I've been saying this over and over again because I really believe it, there is a deficit in people and the way that they show up. And I don't know if it's mental health or I don't know what it is. But it's not just that women are creating this life, and I think that maybe that is what they're doing. But in them creating it, they are trying to emulate something in someone in themselves that they do not know. So what is happening is when you're meeting somebody, you're showing up as someone that you don't even know. You ain't even her yet. You're in the process of becoming her. And so that is why relationships aren't successful, because the man ain't the real him. You ain't the real you. Now everybody dating, and it's not, there's no, there's no longevity because ain't nobody the real them.
So you're saying it's a representative that's showing
Period.
up. Okay.
Period.
Or is it that you have not grown to that point yet to actually be in a relationship that's going to be productive?
Then what would that mean for the man then? If that's okay for the women, then why is it not okay for the men?
Listen,
what do you
for
mean?
me,
I'm saying it for both people.
So being in a relationship, I've been in a relationship, for 10 years now, and it's up and down. We're happy, but life is not perfect. We're people, we're growing, whatever.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, because I've been in a relationship and I've been the one amongst strangers and my friends and family that can sit back and look at other people, I be realizing why people are not in relationships. Y'all are crazy. I mean,
Sometimes
honestly.
I think the people in relationships are crazy.
And we might be crazy too, but when you sometimes it's easier to see on the outside, like what other people are doing. You know what I'm saying? And you
I'm so
realize that
sorry.
like you're not being the real you. How you think something gonna work?
Honey, I'm so sorry. I would rather be single and eat a jean jacket every single day than be in a relationship with somebody that I really don't want to be with.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I see, where that comes from, and I also emphasize with that, and I understand that, but I still feel like people say that and they act like they're so happy by themselves, and the truth is they are not.
Yeah.
I am. I am happy by myself. Would I like a relationship? Absolutely. I would love to be in a full-blown committed relationship, raise a family, all of that. But I'm not doing it with just anybody. You're not going to make me a baby mom. I'm so sorry.
Stick by it too. You can have what you want now.
Yeah. So, I mean, do we really want marriage, or do we want the validation that it brings?
I don't even think people value marriage anymore. If they don't value God, what's the point of valuing marriage?
I think it's situational.
Situation.
I think it's an individual thing. Like some people do actually want a real marriage that comes from love, and some people want a marriage as a business agreement.
Why do you think society treats women like they're incomplete if they're not married by their 40?
Who?
Society treat women
Who in society?
like they're incomplete.
Who are these people?
Okay, so now he doesn't
I guess
understand
the people
what society
in
is.
what- society. What kind of question
Why
is
is
that?
it always y'all sitting around as if that you guys are damsels in distress? It's just not true. And so I'm gonna say this because I'll let y'all have y'all moment now, reclaim my time. So I'll just say this. Men are looking, women should be in a place to be found, and it's just that simple. And so I don't believe that society, I think there may be some people that feel like you're not complete if you're not married. But overall, society has come to grips with the realization that most people are not ready to commit to anything. And
Yes,
so,
and the men that are looking are also not ready to commit to anything.
but we're talking about women right now.
Oh,
So
now we're
what-
talking. Oh,
So as
so
I
you
was
don't
saying-
know what you want to talk about. Okay, is having it all about love? Is having it all about love or peace of mind?
What do you mean having it all?
Having it all, having the marriage, having the success, having the the house, the finances, all of it.
I think everything comes with a little bit of chaos. You know, like y'all not the same. Regardless of any relationship you get in, a friendship or a romantic relationship, y'all are not the same people.
Okay.
So there are going to be disagreements, but that also falls back on communication.
Yeah, growing together. That's something that no one seems to want to value anymore. You grow together.
I think you should have your own peace before you try to, be
Grow.
with somebody else who already has their own peace.
Yeah.
I don't
Does that
think
make sense?
I don't think it takes you that many years, though. Some
What do you
people
mean
be
many
waiting years. They're
To do what?
for their peace. They never.
No, that's what I'm
commit.
saying. You should have your own peace before you get involved in a relationship. You should.
No, I
you should
agree. I'm
have
saying
your
some
own
people
peace
have
within
this
yourself.
thing like, I'm waiting, I'm 50, 60, but it's like, are you really getting peace or you just scared? Like you just fear the unknown. So you keep telling people, I'm just waiting on
Some
God.
people get tired of being hurt too.
I get it, but hurt comes with the process.
Well, we're going to go
Love
on
is
to
vulnerability.
the next topic. All right. We're moving into the final segment. Let's get into mind, body, and soul. I'm going to do a run. Okay, let's be real. How many times have you said, I'm fine, when you weren't? According to psychologists, 70% of people admit they pretend to be okay just so they do not bother anyone with their problems. Not because they're actually fine, but because they're afraid of being seen as a burden. This kind of emotional suppression can lead to anxiety, isolation, and even depression. So let's talk about it. Like, have we been conditioned to suffer in silence? And what would happen if we just stopped pretending we're always okay?
Yeah.
Oh, what would happen? It would be a scary day, first and foremost, because
Why?
What I have seen and has been proven time and time again, people don't really care. They just don't. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes the safest space is just to act like you're okay and to tell yourself you're okay and then eventually be okay. And for some people, it takes a longer process to get to being okay. But I also know people that kind of, dump. And it's just like, I have a heart to help, but not everybody's like that. And so sometimes I feel bad for them because now you're walking around, the whole city knows your business and they really don't care.
Oh, wow. So we're afraid that we may be disappointed by other people's reactions to our pain, to our hurt.
I go for this about 90%. I was driving down this transparent moment. I was driving down the road today and I was listening to this song. God, I can't think of the name. But I was listening to this gospel song, and as it was playing, I just kept listening to it, and it was just basically reminding me to trust in God. But as I'm riding, I'm starting to weep, and I'm telling myself, get up. You got to get up. You got to get up from here. You got to get up here. And as I'm thinking, reading this, it's like there's no one to dial to be able to call to say here, because when I get on the phone, it's normally other people's issues or how can I pray for them or like, oh, okay, well, you know the word, because I call my mom, I love you, but she'll call, well, you know the word better than me, you better go pray. But it's like I'm trying to converse with you to tell you that at this moment, something's going on and I just need that ear. So I went through that today, but I kept telling myself, get up, get up, get up, get up. So anyway, that's it.
Thank you for sharing that.
Okay. Thank you, Lily. I mean, have we been taught that vulnerability is weakness? I mean, I think we have been.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that, to be vulnerable, to let yourself be exposed is a type of weakness that you have to stay tight. You can't let anyone in. You can't let anyone know that you're having troubles, you're having a problem, that you need help.
I think I think that is evident, and maybe easy to explain when we think about how boys are often raised. You know what I'm saying? And so don't cry,
suck it up, be a man.
Exactly, all these things. And so I think that is one way where we are imparting onto them without saying that vulnerability is weakness. Because if you're hurt, if you can't cry, you can't let that emotion out, and eventually it does grow into something bigger.
Yeah.
I think that vulnerability is okay. I think it's good. I think it's healthy. What I don't like is when people weaponize their tears. And they manipulate people, in different ways when they're pretending to be vulnerable. And they take advantage of people who actually lend that ear.
Yeah. Wow. Well, friends, thank y'all for coming in and hanging out with us. That's a wrap for today's show. Before, though, we have a quote to leave you with. I can't think of any better representation of beauty than someone who is unafraid to be herself. That's Emma Stone, yes. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll catch you next time right here on Point of View, only on AFROTV.